Morning, guys. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a carburetor for your mini bike or your go-kart, for that matter. Now, there's a whole bunch of choices out there when you get ready to step up from the stock carburetor. Now, you can go to a board stock carburetor if you've got like a stock cam and a stage 1 and a governor removal, and that may work just fine for you. May even be cost effective. You already got the air cleaner and all the other stuff, but usually the first thing you do is you buy the little intake manifold and you step up to one of these. Now this is kind of a knockoff of a Mikuni VM22. I've got another one of these up on the shelf that says Go Power Sports on it. But what that is a round slide carburetor, similar to what you'd find on your 50cc up to 125cc and maybe even bigger, motorcycles. I mean, they made these in all different sizes. The 34 is real popular with big engines and stuff. And this is a great carburetor. I mean, leaps and bounds better than the stock carburetor. I mean, you've got more adjustment. You've got a whole lot more fuel, a whole lot more air. These things are really good. Now you have to get that O-ring to seal against the little manifold and then bolt that to the head. Usually your regular old off-the-shelf throttle cable with a ball on the end will fit. They snap into the slide and they're pretty easy to put on. You just need one connection. That lower one there is just a float bowl drain, and this will take you all the way up to 20 horsepower, maybe more. I mean, it's a good carburetor. If you want to get a little bit racier, you can go to the D-slide style. The PWK, this one's an OKO. They used to sell these out of EC carburetors. Well, it looks like it's got some power jet action there. Kind of a high-end enrichment deal. You got your idle adjustment here. Looks like a little mixture screw adjustment there. This is a 24 millimeter, which is a fantastic size for a mildly modified engine. These will go on a spigot style intake. Now it's not a true flat slide. That slide is actually kind of D-shaped in there. Now, if you don't have the right throttle cable for these or modify your throttle cable, your throttle won't close all the way. You'll go to fire the bike and it'll just start screaming. So be real careful when you put these on. Make sure you get the right throttle cable, or you have to modify the cable housing somewhat to get them to work. These things are great. When you get them dialed in, you can get jet kits for them, or you can take them to somebody and have the jets drilled, which is usually the easiest way to do it. When you get one of these working, it'll work for a long time. It's kind of hard to find the right air cleaner. You just got to search around on Amazon. I want to say most of them take a 50 millimeter air cleaner. Now, I've found some, they're just little unipod deals. They work fine. But these come from, anywhere from 24 up to 32 or 34 millimeter, all in the same body here. And these things work great. Not a damn thing wrong with them. Another option is your Tillotson. Tillotsons are bad. These things are just cool. They take a pulse from the engine and they squirt. I mean, just like a fuel injector. Now, this thing just screams cool. They sound good. They put these on chainsaws. A lot of two-strokes have this style carburetor. And as far as a flat torque curve, nothing really runs quite like a Tillotson. It's almost like having mechanical injection. These things, you have to get a carburetor, or excuse me, an air filter adapter that bolts onto this side, and you'll find these in hundreds of different configurations, right? Now I've got one of these with a manifold and an adapter on it at work. I don't have it here. You got a low-speed needle and a high-speed needle. I may have that backward, but I believe that's your low speed, that's your high speed. Now, this little port here, when you get a manifold, they're going to be a little pricey. The manifold has to have that port in it. It takes a pulse from the intake runner to operate the diaphragm. And they can, you know, shim and set this diaphragm for different pop points, different pressures. And then there's a linkage kit that'll come off of the bolts up here, and your throttle cable will point down at that, and you can hook up your linkage there. You'll have to do something with the choke lever or take it out. But these things are just bitchin'. I got this one for 13 bucks on Amazon, thanks to Kentucky Fried Fixes. He did a whole video on these, and he got one running on a Ducar 212, and that thing, it sounded great. It was fantastic. You do have to run a fuel pump with them, and you do have to hook up the pulse, but I think the gains, you know, they're well worth it. Now, here's kind of an unboxing. I've been waiting for this guy to come in the mail. I think your best all-around choice is a real Mikuni flat slide. This is a 28 millimeter Mikuni. You can see that slide is flat on both sides. You got your choke lever. Again, one fuel hookup. Some of the bigger ones will have that deal on the back side, that power jet thing with a little connection here and a hose going down to the bowl, or a passage going down to the bowl. And this one actually says Mikuni on it. That doesn't mean it's not Chinese. But, you know, this is what came on your super bikes all the way up until fuel injection. And I'm sure if they could, they'd still be using them now because they just work. The bigger ones will have an accelerator pump in them. I'm not sure that these little guys do. I know you can get them that way. This is not the VM. This is the TM series, I believe they call it. But that guy is about the baddest of the bad when you have a real high performance build and you're trying to get every ounce of power that you can out of that motor. There's not a whole lot that beats a flat slide. Now you can take these into a carburetor guy, or you can order them right out of the box, set up for methanol. This one's set up for gas. I don't have anything yet until I get my 3-inch motor back, if I ever get it back. That'll be set up for alcohol, but this one's set up for gas, and I also got a 24 millimeter. I think I'm going to put on the animal. I'll either put a Tillotson or that 24 millimeter flat slide on there. It depends on whether I hop it up or not. But anyway, just thought I'd show you some different options. The biggest definitely being the flat slide. Now, when it comes to cost, believe it or not, the little Tillotson knockoff is the cheapest, but to get it on the motor and functioning, you need a fuel pump and you need an expensive intake manifold. Now, the manifold that goes with this guy is about 50 bucks, and a quality fuel pump is going to be 25. The flat slide doesn't need nothing. Gravity feed, and it'll work just fine, along with the VM22 and the D-slide. Now, the D-slide is going to be the cheapest. You can find these as cheap as 25 bucks on Amazon. I can't vouch for the quality on all the different manufacturers. I don't know. I know I have my 224 has a little black PWK on it, 24 millimeter, and that thing screams. So, you know, your PWKs. Now, EC Carbs did sell the OKOs, so I'm going to say those are probably pretty good. These VM22 or 26s, these are great. Sometimes you got to change the jets right out of the box. These are probably the easiest to tune, the easiest to deal with. These are going to be between, anywhere between 40 and 100 bucks, depending on where you get it. I forget what Go Power Sports sells them for, but you can get this in a really nice kit with the manifold and the air cleaner and everything, fairly cheap, and you can get it already dialed in. You know, our combinations are, until we get into the real racy stuff, they're pretty basic, and the research has been done. This is going to be the most expensive. Now, the flat slides, you're going to spend, at least 100 to 150 bucks on these. I did find some Chinese flat slides on Amazon in the $60 to $70 range. It might be worth a shot, but I don't know if I'd trust it. I know this one come from Go Power Sports. We'll have to pick one of them Amazon carburetors up and see if it's the same thing. I highly doubt it. But as far as bang for the buck goes, these two, especially on your mildly modified DIY type motors, these two are probably going to be your best bet. If you really absolutely need to haul ass, you're going to be looking at one of these or one of these. Now, these Tillotsons, that's a rabbit hole. When people like these, they go to great lengths to make them work, and they make some really fantastic Tillotson style carburetors. I mean, if you look at EC Carbs, I mean, they make them huge, and they make them out of billet. They are really a work of art, and they will make your motor scream. Flat slides, I think they're a little more user-friendly, and they just work. This is definitely going to be your most expensive option in the end, unless you run one like this on a fairly stock combination. Second, this one. You need a spigot style manifold for this one, where a spigot style manifold for the PWK, where the other two are going to take the little double flanged intake. But again, you have to get the one with the little breather hole in here, the little pulse hole, to run the Tilly. Anyway, there's some different carburetor choices. Thanks for watching.